And yeah, there's only the single barracks here, of course, for Keen. Keen did go for a single gas expand, which means that could be a little bit tricky for him now to hold on to these Reapers coming across the map. That is now a factory for BYUN as well. There is a Reaper lying in wait over here, but unfortunately for him, the Reaper's already on the other side. The bunker's not going to get completed here either, which could be a big deal here. With more and more Reapers seeping in on this offensive. Gotta be a bit careful. Keen is, of course, as soon as he starts losing units here, this could start to snowball, of course. Oh, BYUN actually, the one that is missing up the micro right there. Good Reaper Nate gets one of the Marines and gets the SEV as well. Doesn't give chase much further at the moment, but back at home still making Reapers. Those Reapers, of course, regenerate, and unfortunately for the Marines, they do not. So, ooh, SEV trying once again to complete this bunker, but it looks like it will, well, not even be cancelled. BYUN really giving a bit of a lesson to Keen. Now, Keen, to be fair, I mean, he's losing some units here and there. Yeah, sure, but he does have a second command center. It's already in orbital. He's making 2 SEVs at a time. He's not that far behind. In fact, he might even be in a favorable position here in a certain way. Although he did lose 250 more minerals. Well, the Reapers might still be able to do quite a bit here, actually. Maybe we were talking too much about Keen's position. As there are, of course, still quite a bunch of Reapers here willing to snipe away at that SCV count. The one thing that was looking alright for Keen. Reapers still playing it careful here, not immediately just jumping in and trying to do whatever they can in their last final moments. In a blaze of glory, trying to just get something done. Yeah, with that, 7 workers in total killed. Still, though, the worker count not too far apart because, again, that second base for Keen already producing more SCVs here. But yeah, overall, I like the position for BYUN, especially with those Banshees coming in. We do have a Cyclone and a Viking as well, but Cloak is about to finish up. That could make this a whole lot more difficult. Just needs to make sure that, okay, the lock-on did occur. There now comes the Cyclone and the Viking, trying to set up a trap, trying to figure out a way to enclose this Banshee into unfriendly airspace. BYUN knows that there's a scan available, but apparently Keen opting not to do it right now. Does not want to just utilize those scans for a Banshee that he might not even be able to pick off right then and there. Oh, there it is though. There is with the local now and the Viking. That should be enough. And it is. Okay, so Banshee number 1 is dealt with, but what about Banshee number 2? Still a Raven coming up behind this as well. Let's see what BYUN is setting up for. It does look like he might be thinking about setting up his siege tanks in a not too far distant future as well. Banshee almost out of cloak here. There's a Widow Mine that was quite successful there. Third base for BYUN being taken right now. Keen being a little bit slower on this one. He did lose 14 workers now in total, and that's not something he's going to make up for by having a quicker second command center, since that kind of went out of the window for now, that advantage. And yeah, BYUN's going to reclaim that, oh well, not reclaim that, you know, claim that with the third base right now. Kind of a similar thing, but we'll have that advantage. Cyclone in the middle of the map couldn't quite get himself across. Maybe hoping to find some wayward flying units or scouting units. Ran into the main force of BYUN, so not the most fortunate there. I can't believe you still got 3 workers there. I'm not quite sure if that was all just one. What? Interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, this is flying pretty close to BYUN's army. Does BYUN see? Yes, he does. Will start to react, and that reaction does give Keen the heads up that he has been spotted. But he will still continue onwards. Those are 3 medevacts filled with units, and BYUN decides, you know what, never mind then. I'm already at your front door. I'm just going to try to bust my way in here. He's on top of the siege tank. He's now getting rid of a lot of SCVs, of course, but the main base, well, the production is for BYUN. That is going to be under siege pretty soon as well. The auto turrets for BYUN looks like, yeah, that is going to win him out the game, and Keen. There we go, both getting the factory, both going for the Reaper as well. Some small stuff can still happen with these units, right? If one of them really does bungle up the micro of a certain unit, then that could cause quite a bit of difficulty. Not sure if that dog is audible. Apparently children outside getting mangled by a wild dog. It's alright. It's fine. Nothing of our concern. We got some lovely StarCraft 2 to watch. Okay, so yeah, both players going for their command centers on the low ground as well. I mean, it would be slight advantages for someone, right? If one of them did go for the safety command center in the main base, later on fly it down. It's very slight, but it could still take an effect. Neither of them even attempted to scout one another. I guess that is one of the things in TVT where if you do commit a single unit to scouting, sometimes your opponent is just going to show up at your base with all of his units, and then you're like, oh, well, I guess I needed that 1 extra unit here. Now everything's snowballing. And on the other side, if you do commit with everything for scouting, well, you have these really weird situations sometimes where both players go across the map, they don't see each other's armies, and then, well, comedy ensues. Nice mines there from King, actually. So far doing alright, but then the Cyclone comes in and should be able to deal with the rest of this. But that was a very nice fight there from King. If that happens a little bit earlier, before the Cyclone was out, may have been able to get some SCVs killed off as well. Well, there weren't that many SCVs here just quite yet. And BYUN did send him away to safety, it seems like. You can still SCV scout. Yeah, that's true. That is definitely true. That is definitely true. But then if you're already going for the double gas, right? You're gonna be safe against 2 racks already. I guess you still want to have an idea of whether or not it's coming, so you know how to transition and stuff like that. But yeah. That's a good point, though. That's a fair point to make. Alright, 2 Cyclones here with a Raven in the middle of the map. It's always nice to see people trying to set up some sneaky traps with Cyclones. Might just actually start moving in here a little bit further. If he does manage to get the interference on the siege tank, and like a lock-on to either the siege tank or the Raven even, right? That could be pretty good. We'll have to manage the siege tank here, though, before those Cyclones have anything to do in this area. They will just get too short otherwise. It's a fortunate Marine right there. Oh, Keen. Wow, staying on the high ground so he doesn't get spotted. Turning it around. Slight little thing right there, but does mean that the Raven's still unnoticed. And then again, there's a Cyclone here, so unnoticed, but not Not unprepared. Keen still prodding this front, and so far he hasn't used any Raven energy, which does make me think that, yeah, there is an attack coming in here. If he does find an opportunity to take out siege tanks, I would imagine that he would go for it, but maybe he's just trying to tempt the Raven of BYUN, or maybe like trying to get a stim out, or some energy to be spent from his opponents. See how Keen will approach this situation. He has half the siege tank numbers after all, and it doesn't look like he has the marine numbers here either. But he has a good amount of ravens, right? He has 3 ravens versus the singular raven, and if he does... Oh, look at that, another siege tank came into play for him. So, yeah, if he does get himself in a good position here, which this is so far not quite, the ravens on all the way on the other side as well. I really thought he would try to combine these two forces, but no, so far going for 2 angles, and I mean, he forced to cancel on the 3rd base. He's getting SCV kills right now. Auto turrets on these add-ons. If he gets the combat shield tackle up there, that would have been crazy. Doesn't quite happen, but this is a lot of economic damage actually being sustained by BYUN. 10 workers go down. That 3rd base quite heavily delayed. Look at this actually. That timing on that 3rd miles ahead right now for Keen. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't take significant damage back at home. Siege tank one more further down the line here, ready to protect the barracks and the factory. But the SCVs, they are being shot to bits right now. It's a one-way trip for these Marines, so they just want to trade out as efficiently as possible here. If they could, maybe target down some more SCVs. They go for the Marines right there. Meanwhile, they have bought a moment perhaps for the army of BYUN to come across the map right here. Still more auto turret harassment looking to be taking place there as well in the main base. BYUN is scrambling. About 10 works behind, and that 3rd base quite far behind as well. Still having his mining interfered with. The army supplies not too far apart. It would be very, very impressive if BYUN does manage to get a good position going here for himself. But I do think that he has to. I do think that he's gonna... If he doesn't manage to get something done right now, it's gonna be in a very difficult position later down the road. And then, yeah, sure, you could still try to make it work from that position as well. And maybe he will, right? It is TVT. Just overextending into a couple too many siege tanks. Suddenly, you lose everything. That does happen. More auto turret harassment. BYUN, oh, I don't think that's somewhere where you want to push into. The Viking count here, making it quite ominous for that, that lone Raven of BYUN. Yeah, there's not much he could do. Alright, so BYUN has to kind of move back outside of that sensor tower range at least. Kind of make his opponent start guessing again. For a moment I thought he may just try to rotate all the way to the left and try to do the same what Keen did to his 3rd base, right? If you suddenly take that position, you will be able to stop the mining at the 3rd. It still gets, you know, a slight little boon to your position that way, but unfortunately didn't happen. 2 Marines are not going to be sufficient to make this happen either. Oh, Keen really on top of this Banshee, or sorry, not Banshee, Raven harassment. It's again just 2 SCVs, right? It's not enormous damage, but it's adding up. 16 workers in total so far. I guess Keen has lost a lot more gas actually. Looking at the units lost tab. That is 400 extra gas lost there by Keen. And see, this 1 Raven, 2 Cyclones. So I guess the army of BYUN here might still have a bit more gas within it overall. A bit more technologically sophisticated. Let's take a look at the units tab. 8 Vikings though, with a Liberator versus, well, 2 Vikings. Also Keen having the Raven advantage here with 2-1. Just mostly Marines where BYUN has the advantage in right now. Then again, the Marines alone are not gonna let you win this fight here. Definitely needs to have something else going for him. And on the 3 base, on a map like Romanticide, it's not like you can use the best thing that the Marines give you, which is mobility, to a really great extent either. You need to have the game go longer in order to, you know, have that advantage come into play. If there's more bases available, suddenly those Marines and their mobility, right, more places, more places to hit. Excuse me. More places to hit, and then, you know, you're gonna get more stuff done. Alright. Keen seemingly not really wanting to push the issue either. He might, you know, if anyone wants to push right now, I think that Keen would be the person that could give it a better go. Seeing how he does have the Liberator, so there's an opportunity for him to actually, you know, push away the enemy siege tank lines. But it's actually BYUN being the player that is very aggressive. A slight bit of harassment there with Marines trying to come into the natural base, but that's about it from Keen here. This might come to harm him later down the line as well, because a big part in TVT is that the player that is being more active on the map is the player creating opportunities, and well, if those opportunities get shot down as nastily as this, then that's not great, of course, but sometimes that means that if an opportunity presents itself, the player that is offensive, they can always decide, alright, I'm moving back or I'm committing here. The defensive player, no such luxury. It's either, alright, I need to defend my base here or lose it. Or counterattack, I suppose. Will find a base himself as well. Does he know about that base on the left side here? No, he does not. So, BYUN did manage to get that going for himself. Oh, the auto turret shoot down the Liberator as the siege tank get rid of the planetary fortress. The siege tank army should be destroyed here by the Vikings, but let's see. There's another army marching through. Oh man, I bet he wishes he had some Vikings over here. Oh dear. Alright, well, I think BYUN is starting to really do this right now. With the 4 bases still remaining, Keen down to 2. He's in his main base as well with a couple of siege tanks here. That's a position that Keen, I mean, you could try to ignore for a little bit, but it does require some sort of response now with the Liberators here. He will manage something. He's gonna lose his medevacs here, perhaps. No, it looks okay so far. Well, the 2 armies find each other, at least in the middle of the map. But this is not that great. This is not that great at all. Man, with such an amazing opening for Keen as well, right? He was... It felt like... to be fair, again, TVT. The game of comebacks. But yeah, Keen, he got himself in a nice position, and slowly but surely it's all shifting through his fingers, right? Can't quite hold on to it. Now suddenly BYUN in the more dominant position here. Having most of the map control. Having had most of the map control actually for most of this game. Base superiority as well, without Keen actually being aware of it either. Okay, if he hadn't known about this, he probably would have sent some units over there a while ago. Maybe even like a single Liberator. Anything really. Offensive of BYUN does get thwarted. Will not be able to go through there. Medevac's of Keen attempting to drop the main base, but quick pickup there from BYUN as well. We'll stop that from happening. Power of the Liberator, once again slowly starting to push forwards. +3 for BYUN, about to finish up, but he's committing there with quite a lot of Marines. Is he going to set up a flank? Or is he going to just destroy this base here? I think he's just going to destroy the base. There is a sensor tower here for Keen, but so far he's not responding. I think that's a little bit too late, actually. Yeah, those siege tanks of BYUN should be able to get themselves in a really good position. A big drop in the main base once again. Looks like that is handled as well. There's just one siege tank line remaining for Keen, and it's not doing anywhere, and it's not going anywhere either. So GG is called once more. And here he is. The man that, once you're up against him, you're pretty much bound to be in a horrible position anyway. He's the blue Terran player from Shopify Rebellion, BYUN. Bottom left side, we have a red Terran fighting for the Afrika Freaks. A man that has been improving a lot recently. Is he going to be able to prove it one more time? It is Keen. It is Keen. Let me give BYUN the points that he's gotten so far. Just needs one more win here for the clean sweep. Back in the day, BYUN brought his own monitor to the GSL studios. Yeah, exactly. There must be something, right, that BYUN could do to make his GSL experience similar to his home experience. Enough that he doesn't have the wrist issues as badly anymore. But I don't know. Maybe you just use drugs at home to kill the to kill the pain. Maybe that's why. That's why you can't do it in the studios. It's a highly functioning. No, we don't know. I don't. That was. Just call BYUN. All right. No, that's not true, guys. That's not true. That's all speculation. Back in the days, Jaedong brought his mom and dad to tournaments as well. That's pretty cool. I like that type of stuff. I mean, you know, I never even tried actually making my parents interested in StarCraft 2. I know they won't be interested. I know they wouldn't be, like, I could ask my mother, like, have you ever thought about watching a certain TV show? And she'd be like, no. And I'm like, do you know what it is? And she'd be like, no, not really. But you're not interested? Nah, I'm okay. Alright. I got stuff to do. Alright, fine, fair enough. Alright, Reaper battles here and there. It's another Reaper towards the natural of BYUN. Hellion right there, doesn't quite get to see it, so might be a delay on that command center here. Though, to be fair, might be another delay right here as well. This is getting a little bit awkward. BYUN now starting to give chase to this Reaper. I guess he's prioritizing the Reaper kill over the SCV kill, slowing down the command center as well. That's kind of interesting. Is he scared of the second Reaper also coming in here? He's starting to lose SCVs, and I mean, I'm sorry, but this is Keen. Alright, let me double check actually. He did lose the 2 Reapers, so that is minerals and gas, but I mean, he's got a Cyclone back at home now. He's not going to take any damage from these units, right? Probably. At least he shouldn't with another Cyclone coming in. Yeah, you know, that's nice. That's nice. Once again, he kind of grabs himself an alright position here in the earlier parts. It's nothing game-winning, but you know what? Got a hat on a couple of workers. Delayed that command center as well, right? He's already muling. Look at that. He's already got mules down, and BYUN's still waiting for his stuff to finish up. And oh dear, Keen overextending with his Cyclones. Losing one of them. Alright, well. Need to learn how to keep my mouth shut. I need to learn not to say things. Oh no, Keen! Ah, picking up his units right now as well. The matter of fact, okay, that's okay. He gets the Hellion. Medevac stays alive, so that can be repaired. And BYUN, yeah, he will do some harassment now with the Cyclones here instead. Looks to be all right. Ooh, Keen in position with one Cyclone. I mean, he's gonna look onto the Medevac, and that's a problem actually, because then 2 Cyclones will look onto his Cyclone. Needs to pick up his Cyclone. Oh, does manage to do it. Just in the nick of time right there, but that is still a little bit of a tricky situation here. The siege tank still not getting involved right there. Auto turrets, I'm not sure if I like that. At least he keeps the Medevac from escaping to the right side, but just a clear way on the left side right there to escape from. That's it a little, well, he had it a little bit trapped, but there it goes. Flying off again, even just dropping them once more. And off he goes. 6 SCVs. Once again, BYUN just reclaiming the initial good position here. Just, you know. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. He killed 2 Cyclones, 2 Reapers, and a Marine. And 6 SCVs for the price of 1 Hellion. I mean... I feel like this should be theoretically impossible, right? Near theoretically impossible. If you have this kind of... But alright, anyway. I guess that's what happens when you have units that are very micro-intensive, such as Cyclones, you know? People that have the best micro in the world will just be able to make it work. Look at that, hunting for Medevacs right now as well. They are coming, so BYUN is aware. Has 3 siege tanks ready in the main base, waiting for this to come in. He's spreading them out quite evenly. He's not entirely sure where this is coming from, but... Right, setting up shop. Starport's in a bit of trouble here. Interference matrix for BYUN does come out. Other turrets on the high ground right there, trying to take on 2 siege tank. BYUN is gonna break this line though quite heavily. And Keen having to scratch his head, being like, "Oh man, oh man." That was not even close. He's just lost more units right now. He's already 1,000 minerals down. He's what is that? 800 minerals down as well. Or sorry, gas. That is a different type of resource, of course. I knew that. I know what gas is. Alright, anyway, moving on forwards. BYUN here. Stepping up to the plates. There is 2 siege tanks lying in wait, but the nice spread on the Marines right here, starting to tank all the damage. Talking about tanks, the tanks of BYUN have arrived, but it might just barely not be enough here with the SCVs coming in as well. He loses 11 of them, but he lives, right? At least he's alive. Well, it's a strong statement. He's breathing. He's still breathing. Eating through a tube. But he's alive. Siege tanks once again in the range of the 3rd here. Not much else coming in for Keen so far. We do have, however, reinforcements for BYUN. And yeah, this is just, oh, this is so saddening, isn't it? Can't fly his Vikings in, doesn't have a Liberator here, doesn't have anything really to do in this position. Needs to just lift up that 3rd base and be like, alright, fine, I'll be even further behind. Might be an opportunity for him later down the line to get rid of these siege tanks though, and if that does occur efficiently enough, you know, who knows, maybe he's going to be able to start pushing across the map and do something to BYUN then, but until then, so far, it's looking again a little bit gruesome. After an alright opening for Keen, stepping up, getting himself a couple of balls in the basket with the Reapers. things just started falling apart. As, well, Keen is gonna attempt a big counterplay here. A lot of units coming for that natural base, but with 2 siege tanks on that high ground and a reasonable chunk of marines here. So actually, how many siege tanks for Keen can shoot? It's only 1. Alright, so... Oh, he's missing vision. That is gonna cost him a bit. If he had vision there still, if he had scan, he would have killed that siege tank, unfortunately. But, I mean, even then, it wouldn't have mattered, right? It's like, yeah...